Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with a video on punching Kasparov in the face. It is part of the countdown series towards the start of the 2021 World Championship match between World Champion Magnus Carlsen and his challenger Jan Nepomniachtchi. The first game will be played on Friday, November 26th, which is only 8 days away as I'm recording this video. The sense of anticipation is almost unbearable. In this countdown we're looking at remarkable moments in the history of the World Championships, and we have arrived at December 17th, 1987. We're in Sevilla, in Spain, and World Champion Kasparov and his challenger Karpov are playing their 4th World Championship match out of a total of 5 matches. The score is 11 points each, with 2 games to play. On the board we have the position in the 23rd game after 49, bishop e7 to c5 from Kasparov. Karpov is white, Kasparov is black. Material is equal on the board and the position is also objectively equal, but with his last move Kasparov brings a threat in the position. Both players were very short on time. The time control was on move 56 and we're on move 49. Karpov played Rook c6 on the 50th move. He deals with a threat. If instead of that move he had, for example, played bishop g5, then we see the threat that Kasparov brought in the position. Rook takes g1 check, the king has to recapture, and then very surprisingly rook f1 check. And you cannot take it, well you can, but then there is d3 check. The bishop gives check to the king and that wins the queen, and actually white will get mated here. King h2, black takes the queen, and then either queen g1 or bishop g1 will be checkmate. And if after rook f1 check we don't take that rook but we play king h2, then there is queen f2 and black wins. And that's why Karpov after bishop c5 from Kasparov played rook c6. Because if you now take on g1 with check, king takes, then rook f1 check would be a blunder. Because after queen takes f1, d3 check, that bishop that gives check to the king can now be taken, and white wins. So rook c6 is a good move. And now Kasparov blunders. He plays rook 7 to f3. He loses his patience. Many moves would have kept the balance, but this is a blunder. And let's pause the analysis here for a moment and let's watch the footage of this game from 1987, starting at this point. We'll see Karpov on the left and Kasparov on the right of the picture. So let's see what happened. What did we see there on the board? We saw Karpov take that rook that was put there on f3. It's a rook sacrifice. Rook takes, and with his flag hanging, Karpov finds the refutation of that rook sacrifice, which is based on the queen, the white queen, leaving the third rank. He gave a check. Kasparov played king h8, and now there is only one winning move for white, which refutes the black's rook sacrifice. Of course, white's queen is hanging, and if you play, for example, queen e2, then black wins with rook takes h3 check, king g2, rook g3 check, king h2, and there is that move again, d3, attacking the queen. If you save the queen, bishop takes g1 check, and white has to give the queen with a winning position for black. So that doesn't work. After king h8, you cannot play queen e2. Can you go somewhere else with the queen? Not really. If you go to b1, for example, there is again rook takes h3 check, king g2, and this is checkmate on the board. There really is only one refutation, and we saw Karpov make that move. He found it in time trouble. Bishop h6 was the move. What a beautiful move. Counter-attacking black's queen, and that is refuting black's rook sacrifice. We saw Kasparov take on d3. There really is nothing else. Karpov took Kasparov's queen. Rook takes h3 check played. King g2, another check. King h2, rook takes g1. The time control is reached, but Karpov did not have the time to write the moves down. You saw him busy with the score sheet, but he did not have time to write the moves down. And to be sure that he had made the time control on move 56, he plays one more move after some thought. He played a very good move, bishop takes c5. He's taking the bishop and not the rook. After king takes g1, bishop takes f8. White is also winning, but taking the bishop is much better. So bishop takes c5 was played, and immediately Kasparov played d3. And here Karpov's flag fell. The time control was reached, and Karpov had to catch up on recording the moves. As he was doing that, Kasparov resigned by signing his score sheet. Karpov had now an hour on the clock, and he surely would have found the right continuation and won this game. The right continuation is not bishop takes g1. That looks very obvious, but it's more of a losing attempt than a winning attempt, because there is d3, d2, and that pawn cannot be stopped. So the right way to play after d3 is bishop e3 to control that d-pawn, rook e1 attacking the bishop, and then you can play d6. If you take the bishop, then there is d7 and white queens first. If after d6 you give a check, for example, king g1, d2, bishop takes, rook takes, then also d7, followed by rook c8, and white will promote and will win this game. So after Kasparov had played d3, he resigned, and that was a huge blow for Kasparov, a real punch in the face. The score was now 12-11 in Karpov's favor with only one game to go. In those days, the world champion had to be beaten and would retain his title in case of an even score. So Kasparov had to win game 24 on demand, and he did so. Game 24, like game 23, was played over 2 days. In those days, games were adjourned after 40 moves, and Kasparov won game 24 and tied the match, thus retaining his World Championship title. I hope you like this video and that you'll keep counting down towards the start of the Carlsen and Nepomniachtchi match with me. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.